A saint hides in a swamp. A deer finds him before the soldiers do. An arrow flies, and the wrong heart takes the wound. That's how the story of Giles begins. Not on a throne, not in a cathedral, but in a tangle of reeds where mercy outruns fear. If you think holiness is for people with perfect lives, watch what happens when a hermit with an injury becomes a doorway for the world. Legends open in Athens. A wealthy home, tutors, a gifted boy. When his parents die, he gives the inheritance away like loose coins. Rumors suggest the Greek prelude was added later. The ground in Gaul feels firmer. A wild region, a quiet man, poverty you can touch. Either way, the point cuts clean. Giles walks away from the script everyone expects. He chooses obscurity over applause, prayer over position. He leaves before he's famous. No farewell tour, only a rough hull and a shore where no one knows his name. The marsh near Nîmes is wet stone, reeds, wind. Tradition says a hind finds Giles and feeds him milk. Smile if you want. Medieval listeners heard this. Creation helps carry human weakness. Giles isn't a superhero. He's hungry and refuses to steal. He fasts, prays, waits, and something alive comes near without fear. Holiness isn't grabbing. It's receiving. Hunters close in. Hounds bay. A royal party pushes through the brush. The animal bolts for the clearing. Giles steps between life and harm. The arrow sings. It strikes Giles, not the deer. He survives, but the wound becomes a teacher. He refuses compensation, won't turn pain into leverage. In most stories, the disability disappears. Giles doesn't. Sometimes the miracle isn't that pain ends. It's that love outlasts it. Armored apologies arrive. The king offers gold, land, a soft exit. Giles asks for silence, a patch of ground where nobody hunts man or beast. Who turns down a kingdom for a swamp? The king says yes. Travelers notice the air around this man changes them. No advertisement, just peace like weather. Word leaks along the roads. There's a man who prays like breathing. You can't quarantine mercy. Even a hermit gets neighbors. Men stay. They want his way, not his wound. He relents. Work, prayer, hospitality. The cell becomes a monastery. The path becomes a road. The road becomes a port. The town takes his name, Saint-Gilles. Pilgrims come with scallop shells and cracked boots, pushing toward Santiago, Rome, Jerusalem. At the center, the former hermit hears confessions and feeds the poor. It's said a powerful ruler arrives with a fault he cannot speak aloud. He writes it on a folded parchment and lays it on the altar during Massachusetts. Accounts differ on the sign. An angel, a strange flame, a quiet nod, but the end is the same, pardon without humiliation. The story touches a modern ache, hungry for forgiveness, terrified of exposure. Giles becomes patron of courageous repentance. No spectacle, only truth. The monastery stretches into arches and aisles. A Romanesque facade rises like a sermon in stone. Merchants haggle. Sailors sing. Beggars wait by the door. Carved into wood and capitals is a small hind. A promise. We protect the weak here. Refugees arrive with arrows of their own, often invisible. Mothers whisper his name. Shamed souls join a line where nobody pries. Saint-Gilles proves a holy place can welcome noise and still keep a deep center. He stays with his brothers. He prays. He dies quietly. No theater. His wound remains. His mercy remains. People who never met him still use his name like a password for courage. Centuries climb over his grave. The roads keep moving. The door stays open. Giles shielded the helpless, refused to weaponize his pain, and built a house where shame had no microphone. Holiness starts where you stop pretending. If you've been hiding because of a wound, borrow his map. If you've waited to confess until it felt safe, try the parchment. If this opens something in you, comment one word: mercy, courage, quiet, or healing. Subscribe for more saints who changed history without chasing applause. Share this with someone carrying a hidden wound, no pressure, just a door.